Negotiations on a reasonable formula continues, providing comfortable housing facilities. ABANG to address the World Hydrogen Summit. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Shal Shaminato and this is TVS Nightline. Negotiations with the federal government are ongoing to find a reasonable formula for the special annual grant to Sarawak under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution. Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng said the amount given to Sarawak should not be fixed, but instead be made based on the federal government's annual income revenue.
Sarawak mesti berteraskan kepada formula. Formulanya ialah kalau negara kita mempunyai pendapatan yang baik, apabila ekonomi kita baik, maka kita diagihkan menerusi satu formula yang dipersetujui di antara kerajaan persekutuan dan kita. Begitu juga kalau keadaan ekonomi kita tidak begitu baik, sudah tentu pendapatannya akan menurun. Geran kita pun sudah tentu menurun. Jadi ini lebih adil kepada kedua-dua pihak. Sebab itu dalam perundingan sekarang, kita masih lagi berunding mengenai dengan formula yang sesuai, yang boleh diguna pakai untuk mengagihkan geran di bawah perkara 112D.
Abang Johari said the issue of finding the right formula for the grant had been raised even during the Pakatan Harapan PH administration before. On November 22nd last year, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Datuk Sri Dr. Maximus Ongkili, said a better deal for Sabah and Sarawak is being discussed with the government through the Joint Consultative Committee JCC on Special Grants under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution.
Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng will present his keynote address at the World Hydrogen Summit in Netherlands next week before going to Norway on a sovereign wealth fund fact-finding mission. Abang Johari will highlight Sarawak's hydrogen-ready position in an address themed Accelerating the Global Hydrogen Economy the Sarawak Way at the start of the three-day summit in Rotterdam on May 9.
A pioneer in exploring the hydrogen economy, having set up its first hydrogen production facility here in 2019 and conducting trial runs of hydrogen-powered buses in the state capital. The state is currently negotiating with Korean and Japanese companies keen to invest in setting up production facilities for green hydrogen in Bintulu with buyback prospects by the respective countries. In addition, Abang Johari has indicated that Kuching's autonomous rapid transit, scheduled for completion in 2025, will be powered by hydrogen fuel cells as part of Sarawak's plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in line with the protocols of the 2021 United Nations Glasgow Climate Change Summit. Abang Johari, who will depart for Rotterdam on Saturday, May 7, with a delegation of state cabinet and senior government officers, is scheduled to visit Shell's office in The Hague later on May 9, where he will be briefed on the future of Shell in Sarawak. On May 10, the Premier and his delegation are scheduled to meet the Port of Rotterdam's chief executive, followed by a tour of Shell's Technology Centre in Amsterdam. The delegation will fly to Oslo on May 11 to gain insights into Norway's sovereign wealth fund. Abang Johari has previously said that Norway's fund would be a model for similar fund that the Sarawak government plans to set up.
Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, had demonstrated its capabilities in executing drastic changes in driving the region's economic growth. University Science Malaysia political analyst Professor Dr. Siva Murugan Pandian pointed out that only the coalition under the leadership of Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Padigi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, can propel Sarawak to its highest level of development and progress.
Saya rasakan bahawa senario politik di Sarawak kini semakin kukuh di bawah kepimpinan Abang Johari. Memandangkan selepas menang besar di dalam pilihan raya negeri baru-baru ini, sudah pasti ianya datang dengan komitmen dan juga rasa tanggungjawab serta cabaran yang besar. Tetapi waktu yang sama, beliau juga cuba untuk memastikan hubungan dengan Kerajaan Persekutuan akan dapat terus diperkukuhkan supaya hubungan itu dapat memantapkan apa saja yang boleh dilakukan untuk proses pembangunan dan perubahan yang akhirnya akan memberikan keutamaan ke atas agenda rakyat. Bagi saya, apa yang sedang cuba dilakukan adalah agenda rakyat, agenda merakyatkan kepimpinan yang sebenarnya menonjol di bawah kepimpinan hari ini.
He said the outstanding achievement of GPS could not be denied, which is demonstrated by the various development projects, including the construction of bridges and highways and the establishment of companies such as Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros, Development Bank of Sarawak, and many more. Commenting further, the development and progress efforts could continue to be implemented more vigorously in line with Abang Johari's plan to achieve developed state status by 2030.
Ya, bagi saya parti ini sedang berada dalam kedudukan yang baik. Sudah pasti ianya juga harus menjurus kepada keupayaan kepimpinan yang sedia ada, dan kepimpinan ini juga cuba untuk menunjukkan bahawa mereka mampu untuk berdiri tanpa perlu berkompromi ke atas kesemua perkara. Jadi apa yang kita lihat hari ini lebih merupakan otonomi yang cuba dicari oleh kepimpinan hari ini, dan saya percaya ianya terletak kepada reputasi, kredibiliti dan juga karisma kepimpinan hari ini, dan itu sudah pun terbukti melalui kewibawaan dan juga pengiktirafan yang diberikan di dalam pilihan raya negeri baru-baru ini. Bermakna langkah seterusnya di dalam pilihan raya umum ke-11 sudah pasti kepimpinan ini juga akan diuji sekali lagi, dan saya percaya kedudukan parti hari ini cukup baik untuk membolehkan prestasi itu terus menjadi cemerlang.
He said so while contacted by TVS on Friday when asked to comment on the current political scenario in Sarawak.
In other matters, youths are a dynamic source of innovations, and they have undoubtedly, throughout history, participated, contributed, and even catalyzed important changes in political systems. Opportunities for youth to engage in governance and to participate in political and decision-making processes is vital, as well as serving as agents of change and providing a foundation for rebuilding lives and communities, contributing to more just and peaceful society.
Penglibatan dalam dunia politik ini adalah penting, dan jikalau kita fikirkan kita perlukan generasi pimpinan baru untuk negeri ataupun dan negara kita, pimpinan daripada golongan belia yang berintegriti dan mempunyai selera politik untuk menjadikan politik di negeri Sarawak dan juga peringkat nasional sesuatu perkara yang amat konstruktif dan positiflah untuk masyarakat.
Meanwhile, Al-Zim said the nations need to continue to dignify and place women in the leadership position as well.
Dan jikalau ditanya tentang masa depan, itu masa depan selepas ini, saya mungkin itu kita serahkan kepada parti untuk memilih pemimpin yang baik. Kita ada ramai pemimpin yang berintegriti, berprinsip tinggi, berwawasan untuk negeri kita. Dan namun demikian, harapan peribadi saya lah, saya harap suatu ketika kelak dalam lifetime saya nak dapat lihat pemimpin wanita untuk memimpin negeri kita, insyaAllah.
The participation of women in GE14 in 2018 saw only 10% of the number of women nominated by political parties to compete at the parliamentary and state assembly level.
The number of online job seekers' employment opportunities has risen. Unfortunately, with the hype serves as an opportunity for criminals to exploit job seekers with fraudulent jobs. As such, it pays to be more skeptical about the lucrative money-making opportunities, and one should only rely on legitimate platforms so as not to fall prey to such syndicates, in which jobs that offers lucrative income claims or advertisements that do not specify the details and requirements of the job itself should raise a red flag.
Lured by lucrative job offer abroad, 6 Malaysians aged between 19 to 38 left their hometown 3 weeks ago to seek greener pastures. However, they were horrified at the unexpected turn of events, realizing the true nature of their jobs only upon arrival. It was believed that the victims were also physically and mentally tortured. The victims' family members shared their ordeals with Batu Kitang Assemblyman Low Kerchiang and revealed that the victims had been deceived and held hostage to work in a scam call center.
They were asked to they were asked to scam people. Scammers. They were asked to scam people. So that's why when they found out that their job is to scam people, they didn't want to do it because it caused hardship, to other people. So they do not want to do this kind of job. But I also heard they use telephone to scam. So they have telephone. So they use the telephone to call, but they cannot talk long. They found to be talking to their family members.
As such, the victims, through the burner phone issued, managed to be in contact with their family members to lodge a police report in the bid to ensure their safe return. However, they fear for their lives that if their actions were caught, they would be further mistreated.
They have been mistreated according to them. And they have been able to get in contact with each other, the families over there and the families over here. They have been able to get contact, but very briefly. They are unable to call freely. They they call their family members. They were able to do it. That's why we know. That's why we get to know what is happening there, that they have been cheated. And they have asked, actually over there, they have asked the family members here to go to the police to make a police report.
Adding to that, the Batu Kitang Assemblyman had appealed to the Malaysian Embassy in Cambodia to assist in expediting the safe return of these victims.
So I would like to appeal to our Malaysian Embassy to coordinate with our Malaysian Embassy in Cambodia and our Cambodian embassies through this political will and the police on both sides, Malaysian police together with the Cambodian police, together with this and with political will, we will be able to help save these 6 families, these 6 victims.
Right, coming up after the break, addressing teacher shortages, employ more PWB workers, MOH to intensify acute hepatitis surveillance. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned.
After 2 years, we can come back to have a Hari Raya visit, and I visit few houses today for the celebration of Hari Raya, especially in Tanjung Batu, Kampong. So this is very good because we are living with pandemic now. So this occasion is a must to all our races, especially we are in all harmony in this Malaysia.
He said this when met by reporters while attending the open house of the Deputy Chief of the United Bumiputra Pesaka Party, PBB, Tanjung Batu, Sophie Shari in Kampong Jabai, Bintulu on Thursday. Meanwhile, Sophie, as the host, expressed her excitement with Johnny Pang, who never missed his opportunity to come to visit, especially during Hari Raya.
Kita merasa amat bergembira pada tahun ini kerana kita dah 2 tahun tak merasai kegembiraan pada Hari Raya sebegini. Dan saya juga mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih atas kehadiran yang berhormat Johnny Pang, Azul N68 Tanjung Batu, kerana bukan hanya pada tahun ini beliau melawat ke rumah semua penduduk serta pengundi-pengundi beliau, malah pada tahun-tahun sebelumnya beliau juga mengadakan aktiviti yang sama.
At the same time, she describes that this Hari Raya was a surprise for her due to the last-minute announcements made regarding the sudden change of date of the celebration.
Saya merasakan tahun ini macam tiba-tiba raya. Semua orang cakap tahun ini adalah tiba-tiba raya, yang mana kita tak ada menyediakan persediaan yang cukup, memandangkan kalau mengikut kalender kita akan mengadakan hari raya pada hari Selasa. Akan tetapi penyimpan mohon besar kita telah mengumumkan yang hari raya jatuh pada hari Isnin. Jadi perasaan yang bercampur baur. Di dalam kegembiraan itu kita merasakan perasaan yang seperti kesusahan juga pada malam raya, yang mana kita tak menyediakan apa-apa persediaan, yang mana kita beranggapan hari raya berlangsung pada hari Selasa.
Sarawak Teachers Union (STU) lauded the move made by the Ministry of Education (MOE) to resolve the issue of teachers appointed in June 2020 on a contract of service or COS basis, whose contracts expiring this June are to be given attention and resolved immediately. Its President Adam Prakash Abdullah hopes that this issue can be resolved immediately, considering that Sarawak continues to face teacher shortage.
Kita sangat-sangat berterima kasih kepada Menteri kerana telah mengumumkan bahawa Kementerian sedang mempertimbangkan untuk kontrak mereka disambung semula, dan ini adalah satu berita yang melegakan kerana kita sememangnya menghadapi masalah kekurangan guru seluruh negara. Bagi negeri Sarawak, kita amat-amat mengalukan berita ini kerana negeri Sarawak sangat-sangat memerlukan tenaga guru pada masa ini kerana kita masih mempunyai banyak kekosongan yang belum diisi.
Meanwhile, he urged all parents to ensure that their children are vaccinated as soon as possible once the national COVID-19 immunization program for children kids ends on May 15.
Thank you for staying with me. Queen Elizabeth plans to attend major celebrations to mark her 70 years on the British throne next month, but two out-of-favour royals, Princes Andrew and Harry, will be excluded from one traditional event. The 96-year-old, Britain's longest reigning monarch, marked 7 decades as Queen in February and 4 days of Platinum Jubilee events to recognise that landmark are being held at the start of June. The 4 days of events start on June 2 with the annual Trooping the Colour military parade in central London, followed by a Thanksgiving service at St Paul's Cathedral, a concert outside Buckingham Palace, and a pageant through the British capital on subsequent days. One feature of all major royal occasions is the gathering of the royal family to wave at crowds from the palace balcony. But the Queen has decided neither her son Prince Andrew nor grandson Prince Harry will be there this time. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Prince Andrew will not join Queen Elizabeth on the Buckingham Palace balcony at Trooping the Colour. The 96-year-old monarch will kick off her Platinum Jubilee celebrations with the annual military parade, which marks her official birthday on June 2. And following months of speculation, it has been confirmed that only those currently undertaking official public duties on her behalf will be joining the Queen. Instead, the Queen will be joined by Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the Earl and Countess of Wessex, Princess Anne, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, the Duke of Kent, and Princess Alexandra. Although they are not working royals because of their age, Prince William and his wife Catherine's children, Prince George, 8, Princess Charlotte, 7, and 4-year-old Prince Louis, will be on the balcony, as will Prince Edward and wife Sophie's children, Lady Louise Windsor, 18, and James Viscount Severn, 14. The third long-duration astronaut team launched by SPACEX to the International Space Station ISS safely returned to Earth early on Friday, splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico or Florida to end months of orbital research ranging from space-grown chilies to robots. The SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, dubbed Endurance, carrying 3 U.S. NASA astronauts and a European Space Agency ESA crewmate from Germany, parachuted into calm seas in darkness at the conclusion of a 23-hour-plus autonomous flight home from the ISS. Thermal camera video of the splashdown at about 12:45 a.m. was carried live by a joint NASA-SpaceX webcast. In less than an hour, the heat-scorched Crew Dragon was hoisted onto a recovery ship before the capsule side hatch was opened, and the 4 astronauts were helped out one by one for their first breath of fresh air in nearly 6 months. Still garbed in white and black spacesuits, their strength and equilibrium shaky from 175 days spent in a weightless environment, were assisted onto special gurneys as they waved and gave thumbs up for cameras. 2 sets of parachutes billowed open above the capsule in the final stage of descent, slowing its fall to about 15 miles per hour before the craft hit the water off the coast of Tampa in Florida. SpaceX, founded in 2002 by Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of electric car maker Tesla Inc., who recently clinched a deal to buy Twitter, supplies the Falcon 9 rockets and Crew Dragon capsules, now flying NASA astronauts to orbit from U.S. soil. The company also controls those flights and handles the splashdown recoveries, while NASA furnishes the cruise and launch facilities at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, and manages U.S. space station operation. And that feature concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. Here with me, Shilcha Mato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.